Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
Heels and baby faces. Before we begin, I just need to let you know that you were about to watch the greatest podcast ever.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Tina.
Hola.
And joining us on Skype call, we got Tommy.
Yo.
And we got
Somewhere there.
Mike.
Ever.
Oh, jeez.
I'm Mike. Dear God, it's still 2020. Ever.
Yes, it is.
This feels like this year will last forever, right? Well, thankfully, I will say this.
Just now to June. God.
Well, this is the last episode of the first half of 2020. Can you believe it?
Will we be back? Who knows?
Who knows?
Before Galactus shows up, I don't know, man.
Because how do you top the greatest wrestling podcast ever?
Ever.
Videocast.
Videocast.
You don't.
Yeah, this is going to be a cinematic podcast.
This is not on a podcast.
There
No,
will
it's
be
a video cast,
and videos and sound.
We weren't prepared to put the money up for an actual podcast.
Guys,
but
there's
that's okay.
aliens.
No, aliens.
Where?
Oh,
Where at?
the green.
And random ninjas. Our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast. And you can subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing
Today, we are recapping WWE Backlash, a pay-per-view that took a year off for Stomping Grounds, and we're all happy to come back, and now I'm not so sure we're
I
happy.
just saw the results.
Yes? Oh, you just saw the...
I beat everybody.
I told you that
I was
night.
like, did you not
forgot.
watch the pay-per-view?
I mean, I did, but I just saw it like,
Oh, Lord.
for sure I won.
We're going to recap Backlash, as mentioned, and talk a little bit of wrestling news, and that's going to be it for the first half of the year, and it's been a long damn year already as it is. So.
Yeah. Woo.
So we'll jump right into this. WWE Backlash. We're happy it came back until they added the tagline, "The greatest wrestling match
Oh
ever,"
my
and
God.
it's like, Jesus, why? So,
This is Cruz, he
Because why not?
You know, it would be one thing if they just put it on the poster or the promo they do for it. But when the announcers have to just constantly repeat it, and they have to go and get the legends and do these promos, will this be the greatest? Like, it's just, what are you wasting time? Do something
don't
more
know.
fun.
I feel like the
So-
commentators between that were just muting their mics, be like, I hate my job. I really have to say this every time.
Yeah.
The
So,
greatest
I-
ever.
So
Ever.
Charlie Caruso posted on her Instagram something about like calling it the greatest match ever, and then people roasted her about it. Then she's like, "How do you feel now?" I was like, "Charlie, I love you. I'm sorry, sweetie. It still wasn't."
no. We'll get to that actual match. First, besides that, which seemed, there's a lot to like and dislike about that match alone. But what did you guys enjoy about the rest of the pay-per-view? Does anything stand out to you guys?
The U.S. title stayed with the Hispanic, Apollo Crews.
Cruz.
Sorry.
You gotta say
I
Cruz.
was thinking that joke the whole time. Dang it.
I actually enjoyed the.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I actually enjoyed the women's tag match. There was a lot of parts where they did a lot of just pure wrestling.
No, it was that. I think a lot of these matches were short. That's
Yeah,
something
that's
that
the
stood out
only
to
thing
me.
I think
Yeah.
that sucked was the match was really good until they made it really, really short. I think they told them, you got 5 minutes. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
I did not like how Alexa Bliss took the pin. That really, I did not.
Oh, of
That
course.
was perfect.
Huh?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she?
Well, it would have
A
been
weak
better
link.
if she hit her finisher, then she gets thrown out of the ring, and then you pin so and so who.
Oh gosh, get a job.
I
As the
have a
writer.
job.
Wow.
As a writer for WWE.
I have a job.
It was a really impressive pin. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I thought it was a good match. I just didn't like
Go
that it was
back and watch
short.
Yeah.
It was short. The other women's
Like
match
Alexa
wasn't.
Bliss?
The other women's match was the one that I got
Shut up,
annoyed
Mike.
with.
I heard you, Mike. You kissed my ass.
I heard you, Mike.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I said I think the other women's match is the one I got annoyed with the most because they just did a double count out and I was like, what? What just happened?
What was the point of that?
Super lame.
What was the point of that? And I heard that they were originally going to just have Asuka win, and they changed the finish hours later. Why are you setting up Nia for another match?
So yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard they want to set up Nia.
And then they did it last night.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there was another screwy finish.
So apparently they want to
Yeah,
set up another match in the next pay-per-view with Nia and Asuka again. Supposedly Asuka's going to win again, and supposedly they're trying to set up Asuka and Charlotte for SummerSlam.
this is kind of annoying.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
There was a report that came out that Vince, for whatever reason, is not sold on Shayna Baszler, which in wrestling speak basically means Vince doesn't think she's pretty.
Yeah.
You know, and when she started NXT, some of us gave her shit. She didn't sell very well. She didn't really have the charisma. You look at how she started NXT to where she was when she left NXT, the improvement. And she showed she can work a match. She has the character. She has the charisma. Why aren't you letting her feud? I know the whole Becky getting pregnant kind of threw a wrench in what they might have had planned, but why aren't you letting her feud with Asuka? I feel like she would put on a way better show than Nia Jax.
Yes.
Your thoughts on
Because Vince.
I do believe that that's true. I just don't know if I don't know. I just don't know that he wants to even go that route. Yeah. There's many women backstage that could be champion, should be champion, and he is like, no. They're not marketable, or they're not pretty enough, or they're just not, good on the mic or something, that he just finds an excuse not to have them go for the title championship. So
it's another case of Vince not knowing what to do with NXT talent.
And it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to say this because I love the Four Horsewomen, and I mean the wrestling Four Horsewomen.
Yeah.
But he does push them a lot. I mean, obviously, I love Bayley, but she has 2 belts. I'm sorry, those straps.
Those straps.
Good save.
Good save.
Becky goes and gets pregnant. It's okay. It's fine. Like it's life. But you're now going to give it to the tag titles to 2 women who are part of the Horsewomen, and then now apparently from what I've read, they want to bring Charlotte over again to have another title chance. And I'm like, can we just have some other women try? There's plenty of other women, and I understand too that they had Bayley and Sasha win. Well, then why did you even bring the IIconics back?
Yeah.
So I'm confused with the whole thing. Now, I've also heard that maybe later down the line they're gonna have the IIconics win again. Like, it's just, but still, it's kind of like, why would you do that now? And I know that supposedly their whole point was to get Sasha and Bayley to feud at SummerSlam, but now I heard that's not gonna happen. So I don't know what the heck's going on.
Well, one of the things that I think might be affecting all this is apparently they combined the Raw and SmackDown writing teams and got rid of Heyman again from creative.
God. That's annoying to me.
Yeah.
Bruce Pritchard is back in charge of things, and that just means for the most part it's going to go back to a lot of the old stuff they've done and run into the ground. So,
do you feel like this is just they're basically, how do I say this? Kind of just like taking it easy and just kind of cruising through this whole quarantine until they're able to get back out in arenas again.
I would say that if I also did hear so many reports about him flipping out and getting rid of Heyman, and apparently one of the things was Vince just wasn't into building some of the people on Raw, like the newer stars and stuff, and that's why he's going back to more of these things that he's been doing for the last few years. I don't know. That's some of the reports. So.
I've also heard that he's just trying to stretch things out until he has crowds, and he has more of a pop. And I think the one thing that annoyed me so much about the greatest match ever was that you could hear that they basically
piped in noise. They
dubbed in.
Oh, that, believe me, when we get to that match,
and yays and all that, and I was just like, oh my god.
We will talk about that.
And supposedly this week I don't know if they even started recording, but apparently this week they had fans in the recording.
Apparently that was on the Raw tape.
I didn't get to see the Raw one yesterday, but supposedly they had real fans.
It sucks because if there's anything that people have said that killed WCW the most over all those years ago, was the fact that they did not have new stars that they built up. There was one person they built up, and that was Goldberg. And they missed out on the opportunity.
They killed that push amazingly.
Yeah, because Kevin Nash felt they need to use a cattle prod or whatever. It sucks because I feel like he's starting to run this route. I get it. First of all, the COVID thing, nobody saw coming. Nobody was prepped for that. And if you're putting your bad,
just kidding.
Okay,
go. I'm kidding.
I'm saying if you're putting you're blaming your bad ratings on Paul Heyman's creative or anything else that might be going on, I think there's a lot of shows out there that are suffering during this COVID-19. I mean, let's be honest. Everyone is jumping on a streaming service to see what else is out there. T and I have discovered so much on Hulu and Netflix and now HBO Max that we're just like watching
and Disney Plus
and Disney Plus. But
man, we have everything. Why do we have cable?
What for me personally?
Good point.
The only thing that has really given me some incentive to tune in to anything WWE programming has right now on Raw or SmackDown was AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan on Friday.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's really it was anticipated. Maybe Becky's announcement when the rumors were abound that she was pregnant.
Yeah, we watched that.
There's no crazy segment or match that sticks out that I want to see I want to tune into.
I felt the other thing too was like I had a feeling the IIconics were gonna show up because they kept putting something on their Twitter and their Instagram, so I kept watching to see if they came out, and then they did come out. And that was like the last thing I think I watched.
Yeah.
For.
And I'm not saying it's just WWE. Yeah, I watch AEW, but I'm not like highly anticipating to tune in other than say Big Swole, fellow Crohn's Warrior, big fan of hers. I wanted to see her wrestle. And some of the other storylines they're pushing, I feel they're just more compelling. It's not the same drawn out stuff. And maybe another thing that annoys me is, let's just get down to it. The fans that they have, Raw, SmackDown, even at Backlash, or even NXT, who to this point have been Performance Center employees, which one of them possibly tested positive for COVID-19, by the way. So how many people did you endanger with that? Yeah. So, and now they're actually invited select fans there for this past Monday's Raw.
Yeah, and I heard that they took their masks away, which I was like, what? You should let them wear masks.
That kind of annoys me. First of all, you make people sign a waiver that says if you catch it, you can't hold us liable, but you're not allowed to wear your mask. Where's the logic in that? If people aren't allowed to protect themselves, that just annoys me. I don't know. Somebody give me an idea what is going on here. Why are they doing this?
I just think Vince is crazy.
I think they're losing money and he's panicking and he doesn't know what to do. And he's just like, what do I do? I need money because if not, we're going to lose. Not like they're going to lose the company, but they're going to have to lose even more people now at that point. They're going to have to let go more people.
Well, you shouldn't have spent.
Yet and still we can launch a free version of the WWE Network. That's where I question everything.
Oh, if that's an incentive to get people to actually subscribe, okay, I hope it works. Where you went wrong.
No, you can just post some free stuff on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's true. But if when you get back down to it, if you hadn't spent $40 million to book Goldberg for a series of matches, you wouldn't be in this problem right now. You would have a little bit more money.
They still find a way.
Yeah.
If you weren't hogging talent left and right, so AEW and New Japan wouldn't hire them, and then had nothing to do with them and were paying them outright for years and had no idea how to use them, you also wouldn't be in this position. That's something else that sank WCW, was they were hiring all these people and paying them all this money and then weren't doing anything with them.
Yeah.
And now Impact and AEW about to get a little influx of talent here.
Definitely.
Because
especially Impact, from what I saw.
My biggest thing is there is no reason why WWE cannot have had a consistent progressive storylines when both Impact and AEW did. Both companies could not use their full roster, which makes complete and total sense. No one is saying that that's wrong. We get it. Yeah. Half of your guys just weren't, whatever country they're shooting in, either can't be there. Hell, even if you're in the United States, you can't even travel to the state most of the time now. Mm-hmm. And so you can't shoot with your full content. Fine, whatever. Who's there? Who can make it? Who's available? Run with that. Hell, Pro Wrestling Noah I said in my video last night that I posted that I gotta do a full video for Noah praising what they've been doing during this quarantine, because they progressed their entire roster more or less with stuff this entire quarantine.
Yeah,
they had no fans. They had just the camera work, and they barely have their own version of a network. Well, they have one now with DDT Universe, but that's all they had, and storyline still got progressed. WWE has no excuse whatsoever. They've been around longer. They came up with their network first, and they have the most people. How do you have those three things, and they have the most money? How do you have those three things, those four things, and you still screw up pushing people? I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Vince, in my opinion, he just doesn't have patience. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
That's
have that
probably the truest statement I've ever heard about Vince. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have patience.
He needs to right now. I think everybody needs to have right now. It's a slow burn, especially now, and it's uncharted territory for WWE. I mean, you can call it the quarantine era. You can call it the independent era, because WWE for the last few months has looked like an independent show. Honestly,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, going back to Impact. Mm-hmm. Tesla couldn't make one of their pay-per-views. She's the world champion, and for whatever reason, travel, health, whatever, she didn't make it. What did Impact do? They worked around it. They still had their match when it was number one contender. And then what did Moose do? And the ultimate, TNA sucked maneuver, because he's this big hit monster heel. He declared himself the TNA world champion, because the world champion couldn't make it. And if that's not funny and good booking, I don't know what is. Come on.
They've gotten creative.
Limited. Work with what you got. I mean, come on.
And that's even another
this is why
story.
Dean Ambrose left, man. This is exactly why Dean Ambrose left.
Yeah. And the revival.
Or FTR as they are known now. Yeah.
How do people who left WWE before this are doing better now than okay, whatever?
Because they have more creative freedom for their characters. That's the biggest thing. But
yeah.
I digress.
And those are our thoughts on Backlash.
Oh yeah, right.
Backlash.
What result I think surprised you guys the most of Backlash? Is there anything that was surprising to you guys?
The stupid double count out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You know what? Yeah, that was it.
Sheamus. I mean, not that I cared about the match that much. Sheamus winning.
Oh, that was weird. What?
Okay, yeah. First of all, doing a live. Okay, I never thought I'd see the day I'd see someone take a live urine test in the middle of a ring. On Friday on SmackDown. Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, I know. But the result is like,
I kind of wanted The Miz to win.
You're pushing this as a whole. Well, yeah, there's another one. You're pushing this as a whole Jeff Hardy redemption thing. You put him over Cesaro only to have him lose to Sheamus,
which made no sense.
He goes over Cesaro.
Yeah,
everyone goes over Cesaro.
Sorry, so sadly, Mike. But yes.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Okay. Okay, Street Profits Viking Raiders experience. That was quite an experience. That cinematic. Why that?
I don't understand that. That we were watching it and we're like, okay, is the match going to start soon?
Like,
and then you see
that was.
Then you see what's his name?
Like here it's Cesaro.
Here it's Cesaro, and we're like, okay, cool. Like here it's Cesaro's in this, and then all of a sudden we're just like, what the hell is this?
I'm sorry when they showed up on.
What did Cesaro do to Vince?
Okay.
Someone tell me. Why does Vince hate Tozawa specifically?
In the words of Gail Kim, he doesn't know how to book Asians.
He doesn't.
So
yeah,
in this time of social distance,
so apparent during this match.
Obviously, not only that, Asuka.
Yeah.
And Nia double count out. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's like, what do I do? What do I do? Double count out.
But
what?
But the whole thing on the beginning of the tag match is yes, they've been going back and forth doing this. What you can do, I can do better. But it's been kind of friendly. Why are they all of a sudden brawling in the back
to start
it all? Like they're two heated rivals that have hated each other. Like they've been
that makes no sense.
Competing with each other, but it's been
funny,
friendly in the end. And now all of a sudden they're just backstage brawling for no reason.
And then they became, what did they say? The what did they?
Street.
The profit experience.
Viking Profits.
Viking Profits.
Yeah.
Viking Profits.
It's funny you mentioned with the Tozawa thing when he showed up with a whole bunch of gang of ninjas on bicycles. I was like, "Am I watching Fast and the Furious 1? Because this is almost what it looked like with that character." So
yeah, I was thinking about
Rush
Police
Hour.
Academy or Rush Hour. Yeah.
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 I was like, what's
I
going
just,
on?
I was just like, why does he have to be a ninja? I don't. Okay.
You know,
All right.
when
Because he's Asian.
I know. It's just why.
when they did the Money in the Bank ladder match, I said,
Oh my God.
please don't jump the shark and have some overly dramatic somebody falls off the roof of the building thing. And they didn't do that. It was just, one level fine. This whole thing with the Street Profits and Viking Raiders, where they had so much randomness, this is where WWE has officially jumped the shark on cinematic matches.
And then
Yes.
to end it with the Star
Absolutely.
Wars.
Yeah.
I personally thought the greatest show ever was going to be the cinematic
The
one.
greatest wrestling match ever.
Whatever. Greatest was whatever.
Okay.
That's the
You
movie.
meant the Greatest Showman.
This is
tell
the
me, do you
greatest
wanna
show.
go? Oh, sorry.
First
This is
off,
the greatest
the highlight
show.
of the greatest wrestling match ever. We're only calling it that because I don't think any of us even agrees that it is.
It was a good match. It wasn't the greatest.
The
ever.
highlight for me was them being introduced by the Fink
Oh, that was kind of cool.
with the MSG.
That was cool.
Okay, I was
will
like,
give it
all
that.
right, that's cool. R.I.P. Fink. I mean, they really haven't given him that time since he passed away to have some sort of tribute, and that was cool. They had recordings of him introducing both wrestlers, both combatants, that they were able to play that. Very
Yeah.
reminiscent of what Derek Jeter did. I forget what the name of the Yankees announcer is when he retired. He made sure that announcer recorded him introducing him, so that every time he came up to bat, even after he passed away, he could still hear his voice, which is a long time
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah.
very reminiscent of that. After that, what annoyed me the most, the crowd chants and boos that they piped in to the audio.
Yeah.
Same.
Which, okay, we had the little wrestling fans there the whole night, and they weren't very loud. They were into it. Obviously, again, maybe they had the Jumbotron, yay, applause, boo, whatever. And now you're piping in audio, reminding me very much of the bad TNA Impact-esque era, when it was bad, when they did that, where they taped it, and then they piped in crowd reactions based on what they wanted you to think.
So, real quick, let me tell you this. I didn't get to watch pay-per-view live that day. I watched some of it, and then I watched what I watched again the day after. So, as I had it on my iPad I was at my parents' house.
Uh-huh.
And when the match started, I was talking to my family. I kept looking off and on, looking at the match. Around 30 minutes in, I looked down. I said, "Is this still going?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the
I
longest
looked
match
down,
of
I
the
was
night.
like, "Is this match still happening?"
I think that's what happened with me with the Nia and Asuka thing. I was looking down at something on my phone for literally a split second, then I just hear ding, 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 double count out. And I was like, what? What did I miss?
Oh, wait, I did that too. I was watching
Yeah.
that, and I looked off, and then I heard the bell ring. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like double
Yeah,
count
you
out. I was
thought they were
like,
gonna keep
what?
fighting outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, the whole piping in audio like that, it really insults fan intelligence.
Yeah, it does.
People watching are
No,
not
it does,
stupid.
because they explained it before the match.
Give me a
We are
goddamn.
going to do some enhanced techniques, and we are going to do some things to make the experience of this match different. They
Mike,
explained
I
it
can
to-
add
Mike.
crowd cheers here and some boos here. If I wanted, I could have a live studio audience laughing at everything we say.
Yeah.
But I
They would laugh at everything I said.
Oh,
Doubtful.
bye, everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
And if they
Okay.
don't, I'm going to blame JC.
So
Doubtful.
I brought this up before we started recording, and I mentioned this to you guys. Like that wasn't my favorite match of that night.
Mhm.
But do you know what was?
What?
I'm going
Lashley
to
McIntyre?
assume it
Yeah,
was.
Lashley McIntyre. That
Okay.
was my favorite match of the night. I thought that was really good.
I thought you were going to say it was the Miz and Morrison 80s music video that they
Oh my
showed
God.
in the pre-show.
Okay.
That was better than
I'm
the.
not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That was hilarious. Because I said, first of all, they have way too much time on their hands.
That
and
music.
part of me wants to think that Taya Valkyrie and Maurice were sitting by just like, what the hell did we
Yep.
marry?
Yeah. Well, let's be real. That music video was better than the Viking Prophet
Street Fighter,
experience.
yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
I was like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah.
But this is great. That's
Yeah.
all I kept thinking.
You're like, what am I watching? But this is hilarious, like legitimately.
Especially if you've ever watched the show Ms. and Mrs. There's actually one episode where he goes and tries to record a music video, like a song, in like the recording booth with Ryan Cabrera.
And he's a horrible singer.
And Miz is like trying to sing all awesome. And then later on, they play it back for him, and he's terrible.
Yeah,
he's like, "It sounds great. It sounded great in my ears." And then they replay it, and he's just like, "Oh my god!"
And then he had to do the carpool karaoke with the Apple with the live studio.
Yeah,
music.
that was crazy.
That was funny.
So just thinking that, like, hey, he got better.
As far as I'm not saying Edge and Orton was a bad match. It wasn't.
No.
It was a great match.
It wasn't bad.
But it's even
That's
better.
what sucks.
It's even better if you mute your TV and watch it. I will say that much.
Probably.
I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy. Edge hitting the Imprinter.
Yeah.
Christian's finisher,
That was
and
fun.
then a rock bottom. Orton hitting a pedigree. And then Mike and I were in a group message and just messaged each other pretty much at the same time. Big boot leg drop coming up soon. I was wondering who's going to hit it.
This is when I was like, "Damn it, these two." they're
We got that
same
ESPN.
Person.
But
Same person.
Yeah.
you notice another thing they did, and it kind of, I mean, I don't know if intentionally led to Christian, but Edge fell victim to something that Christian kept falling victim to in his Randy Orton feud. And that's when he would go to the corner and jump up to the second turnbuckle and then turn around like he was going to crossbody.
Uh-huh.
And Christian kept getting caught in RKOs with that, except for like the last match where Christian faked. Orton went like he was going to RKO and fell down himself. But Edge got caught coming off the turnbuckle, flipping, jumping back into a crossbody and getting hit with an RKO. In fact, I think that's what ended the
Match.
I think that was the second one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one. Yeah, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of false finishes. It was one of those matches that it didn't need the building of greatest match ever, and it would have been great. I'm not the greatest ever,
If
no,
it
but
just
it's still great.
said like a ultimate encounter match or something like that, that'd have been fine.
Just a grudge match between two legends.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're both
That would've been
legends.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Edge-
It's like
Edge
okay.
Redemption, whatever.
It's just like I said last week. Whenever you put the title of greatest match ever, I immediately like no.
Nope.
So I
Sorry.
can't.
Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25.
That
yeah.
legitimately has an argument for the greatest match ever. Like even as much as I love my wrestling from Japan, that right there is a solid contender for one of the best of all time.
I mean,
when people bring that match up to me and say like, "Oh no, this is the best match ever," I'm like, I can't even argue with you. I was there and I can't believe how good that match was.
well, let's think about what would you think is the greatest match ever that you've ever seen? Let's just throw it out there. What do you think?
Either live or
Can you
just
not
like
ask
or
me
like
because
at
I'm
all.
not an encyclopedia.
No,
like
just what you've seen. It doesn't have to be like any classic match.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Roman Triple H, WrestleMania 32.
You're a liar.
You shut the hell up.
I was like, he's joking. Well, one of the best matches I've ever seen was two women. It was Gail Kim and oh my god, what was her name?
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong? Or
Yes. Well, there was another one she had with. It was
Terrence
like
Terrell?
it was a ladder match, yeah, and she
Yeah.
did the figure four on the ladder. Holy
Yes.
jeez, I was like, what the? That was great.
That one sticks out. I mean, there's many other matches WWE has had that are better than what was put on by Randy Orton and Edge. It's not to say that there's
And yeah, I was gonna say, even if we're talking just WWE, I've seen, again, no offense to Orton and Edge, I've seen much better matches out of WWE than them.
Yeah.
This
was a
funny,
match.
a lot of them do involve Shawn Michaels though. Now that I think about it, so
Yeah, well,
This match, Orton and Edge. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the thing with greatest matches, and I know there's kind of two train of thought.
hey, careful with that pen.
It's one of the reasons
teacher
like
thing. I'm
the
like, whoa,
Michaels Undertaker match is not just the match itself and the moves. It's where it was. It was WrestleMania. It was two legends. It was the build up.
Yeah.
It's in a sense, it's almost kind of like Endgame to Marvel movies. Like it's the culmination of all these things that kind of work together to this moment.
Right.
And you can't help but think that match is just at a higher level. Now, there's also those kind of people that are going to talk about like maybe Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero from Halloween Havoc 98, which was just a technical wrestling marvel of a match.
Yeah.
Which I've heard a lot of people say online that just one of their top matches ever. That didn't have a lot of build-up. It was like the beginning of a card, but it was just wrestling. So like there's two ways, different ways you can kind of go with that, but there has to be something to it. You can't just before anything's ever happened, go greatest match ever because we said so.
And to me, that's probably what irks me the most is that you declare it that before it's even been tried.
And I don't even know if they were trying to be serious, but they didn't play it off as a joke. They just kept
they didn't have
the announcers kept saying it.
They just couldn't name it once in a lifetime. I mean,
yeah.
you know what's consistently in my favorite matches ever is Samoa Joe and Kenta Kobashi from Ring of Honor.
Yes.
And that match, the only build-up it had was the fact that it was Samoa Joe and Kenta Kobashi. I mean, it was going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected it to be the legendary match it became later, though.
That's the thing. Yeah. All these great matches we talk about, like Mike said, it's the end of a feud, the culmination of something. This match is over, and everyone's already talking about, okay, when's the third one? Like, you didn't end anything with this match. There's going to be a third one, and how do you follow the greatest wrestling match ever, you know? Like,
because even with Shawn Michaels and Taker at 25, no one really thought...
The okayest match ever.
Well, no one thought at 26 you'd get the, because when Mike said in-game, I was thinking, 26 I think is in-game. For them, 25 was like Infinity War. It's that was, so.
Yeah. Royal Rumble was Ant-Man and, in between there. Yeah. So.
Exactly. There you go.
I mean, it's set up.
But when the match of 25 happened, I don't think anyone said immediately, they're going to do a rematch of 26. I don't think anyone thought that. They didn't build that up until was the Slammies later that year when Shawn said, "I know I can beat you at WrestleMania." Yeah. And then he cost Taker the world title at Elimination Chamber, and Taker said, "Okay, now we're going to fight."
With your career on the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
JC, does that make, since they had to edit and do all these changes to the Orton Edge match, does that make it the Snyder cut of Justice?
Oh God!
It's possible. It's very possible. I mean, this very well.
Then JC thinks it's the greatest wrestling match ever.
No, because this could have been. That's a funny thing. This was basically the Warner Brothers cut of Edge versus Orton greatest wrestling match ever.
I think it was a Snyder cut.
Give me the live feed without all the cinematics, and then you have the Snyder cut of the greatest wrestling match ever. That's basically what it is. Look what you started, Mike.
Hashtag ban that hashtag.
Hashtag release the Snyder cut of the greatest.
I can't wait for JC to do a video by himself on Countdown City Geekcast, a podcast where he's just talking about this and comparing it. But comparing. I can't wait to
It's funny you say that because we also record the Island of Reality podcast with Ryan Angelo Austin Movie Talk, and there's a big controversy around a cast member who said some racially charged stuff and has had MTV cut ties with her on the challenge. So the episodes are normally an hour and a half. Well, they already made the edit, and they cut that episode down to 40 minutes and made it an hour because a lot of the segments were hers. So we're calling it, her name is D. We call it the D cut, which is just all of her shit cut out. And then we used a VPN to watch MTV Canada where they had the full episode, and we watched the Snyder cut of that episode of the challenge.
We watched that full episode, and we were like,
it's so much better.
No wonder they cut it.
Cut is a racist cut?
No, I'm just saying.
Mike, you're saying that.
I'm just saying. I'm seeing the Snyder cut of that episode of the challenge. Makes a lot more sense. Makes me think the Snyder cut of this Edge and Orton video will be better. Makes me think the Snyder cut of the Justice League is going to be way better. So I can't wait for all of it. So
Mike is just a hater. He's a hater. Hater. I don't know. I'm just gonna see hater. Hater.
Gonna be awkward.
I mean, we're gonna see Superman in a black suit on the Snyder cut of Justice League. So I'm just saying, but that's comic accurate.
Again,
so
Mike,
you
hater.
Stop.
You're a hater.
Anyway. That is comic accurate.
A lot of things are comic accurate.
Confirm.
All right.
That was kind of racist.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Let's just stop right there with this.
Haters gonna hate.
Let's get to our pick results.
My earphones are going out.
Yeah, because you're old. Because you're old, that's why.
Tommy went 3-3-1 for his picks. Myself and Mike went 4-2-1, and Tina 5-1-1.
What's up?
Owned it. Hence the arrogance she's showing right now.
I'm good at.
Shocked. I did even that well, honestly. So,
JC, me and you need to stop tying on these things, man.
I mean, last time it was you.
Be
and
honest
Tina
with you,
tied,
I was kind of shocked that I was 5-1-1. I was like, really?
Yeah, Tina discussed possibly retiring from all WWE picks in the future since I retired from NXT last week.
No, I want to go for the perfect score. Once I get a 6-0 or 7-0, then I can retire.
I think you did that once.
You
did that
I've done that
last year. Yeah, so
I've done that, but I should have retired then. Oh well. I would say this, that the whole time I was telling Mike, see, Mike's pissing me off.
What were you
here.
telling me? About racist Snyder cuts?
Hater. No, I was telling JC
Go ahead, baby.
that why don't they have the NXT people or even all the other WWE superstars in the crowd to build up for their next, big thing. Like,
Big
for
event.
example, Bailey and Sasha wins. And why don't you have Tegan Nox and Blackheart right there, like talking smack to him through the glass, like, "Hey, we'll see you on Wednesday," this kind of
Especially
thing.
because they are challenging on Wednesday.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
would have made sense.
Like, why don't they
That's
do?
creative.
Yeah, because that's creative.
It's creative. Vince isn't
he-
creative.
I mean,
Crazy.
he's legitimately not wrong.
Vince,
That's a good answer.
hire me, man.
Vince,
See,
He's
a
not
woman.
wrong.
let's list the things that make up Vince McMahon.
Oh God.
Stubborn, arrogant,
We already talked about racism.
not creative,
Oh my God.
not creative, and ignores
Impatient.
continuity. Yeah,
And impatient.
and impatient.
And a
yeah.
hater.
So, yeah, I mean,
And a hater like Mike.
yeah.
What?
I don't know.
All
Anyway,
Mike is
My earphones
losing his
don't work.
hearing. He's such an old man now.
it's time for our WrestleCast ranking. He's younger than me. Don't start. 0 to 5, 5 being
Good point.
WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Tommy, we'll start with you. Where does this rank 0 to 5 on WWE Backlash?
It wasn't god awful, but it
It was
could've been
awful,
so much-
but not
God
god
awful.
Yeah.
It was. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
You know what? To me, it was very middle of the road. I gotta be honest. I gotta go 3.5.
Okay. That's not quite middle of the road, but we'll go with it. All right.
Middle of the road would
Yeah,
be
it's not
two.
the middle.
Passing
but, like,
grade. All right.
Mathematically.
It was. I mean, because the parts that they got right
Okay.
were good. The problem is those parts are few and far between. And I can't discredit the whole show because I think we did get some serious matches, especially with, like I said, my favorite McIntyre and Lashley, and that one really, to me, was one of the ones that went to the limit, and I like that. So that and some other things, and like I said, Edge and Orton, it wasn't the best match of that night to me, but for what they did, it was okay. So
Okay.
3.5.
Mike, what about you?
I'm gonna go pretty similar. I'm gonna go through. I thought mine would have been lower, but I think I'm gonna go about 3.75. And a lot of the same things Tommy said. Just like I wasn't feeling a lot of the matches. They weren't bad, but I don't know. It's almost like because they weren't what I expected out of them. I just like the double count out, like we keep saying, just took a lot out. Sheamus winning, like it wasn't a great match or anything, but it threw me off. Strowman, I feel like they have a trouble now with Strowman because it's hard to put a viable contender against him.
Mm-hmm.
But then you crush it, you crush two guys at once, and where do you go from there? It just, I don't know. I just felt like it missed a lot. I can't believe it's higher than Tommy's, but yeah.
Okay. For me, I'll list the things that were good about this event.
we're done.
Apollo Crews Andrade, great.
Kickoff show though.
Yeah, women's triple threat tag match, great. Hardy and Sheamus, Asuka and Nia Jax wasn't good. Strowman, Miz, and Morrison was okay. I enjoyed it. It was good. It wasn't great. Miz costing Morrison the chance at the title. That made for an interesting dynamic. McIntyre, Lashley is okay. I thought it could be better, and it's going to be better when they wrestle again. Street Profits and Viking Raiders,
Hell no.
god awful. Edge and Orton did not live up to the hype, and that's a product of them tagging it that way. This was a 3 out of 5 for me.
Ooh.
Call it harsh,
Wow.
but it was just, I'm sorry, the crowd noise being piped in, that hurts the match for me. And a product of that not being as great as I expected is because you built it up that way. And when it doesn't deliver as the greatest wrestling match ever, I'm sorry, that's something you got to suffer. So you got to be smart when you build something up. You don't overshoot something like that. I mean, if you're going to call it the greatest wrestling match ever, save it for WrestleMania and then do what you got to do to it. Just don't pipe in audio, okay?
Or if they would have done it tongue in cheek, where like the way Edge and Orton were on social media, where they were doing it like they were making fun of it. But like we said, the announcers were dead serious about it every time they said it, and they did all these promo packages. If they would have like made fun of it, I would have at least had fun with it. But
yeah. Tina, what about you?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Also, like Tommy, and I'm usually the one that gives everybody a high rating, but There was some good spots, and I say spots because there wasn't a lot of them. The first match, the women's tag, was really good to me. The only thing I hated was it was short.
Yeah, that
too
hurt
short.
a lot of this show. Actually.
The Hardy Sheamus match was confusing.
Yeah, it was.
The Asuka Nia one was weird and short too, which I was upset about. With I don't like when women matches are short.
Stop burying Asuka. Sorry.
Thank you.
Had to look that up.
Yeah, Hardy Sheamus was longer than that.
Yeah. Braun, Miz, and Morrison, the greatest thing about that was the music video. I was like, yes, this is amazing. Drew Lashley was okay. I didn't like the finish that much.
With Lana getting involved?
Lana, it didn't.
It's like they're finding stuff for Lana until her contract runs out and they let it go.
Yeah, I'm just like, let it go, man.
Yeah.
Just let her go now and let the contract run out.
Well, she asked for a divorce. Well,
no,
Lashley
did,
demanded a divorce.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, who cares?
Get it annulled, whatever.
From her fake
Street
marriage.
Profits.
Oh God, the Street Profits thing was just no. I love the Street Profits and I love the Viking Raiders, but this was just like they made them look silly and stupid, and I didn't like that. And then the Greatest Show was, I mean, it was
This is the greatest show.
I keep saying Greatest Show.
Because they remixed the freaking movie theme
They
song.
did. I'm sorry. I keep getting confused. The greatest wrestling show or ever, whatever
Greatest
match
match.
ever, whatever the hell.
You know, at this point, call it whatever you want, and I don't think anyone really cares.
Yeah,
Greatest show.
I was
The mediocre.
I was
I was waiting for Hugh Jackman to come out.
I was expecting Randy to win because Edge won
That
last
would have made
time.
this show a 5 out of 5 for me if Hugh Jackman would have showed up for no reason.
He starts singing.
Yeah.
That match was good, but it wasn't great. Like
If they'd have brought out Zendaya and Zac Efron, this is getting a 5 out of 5.
And with all honesty,
Okay,
I was bored.
If Zendaya,
I was waiting for this.
If Zendaya would have showed up
Oh my God, here we go.
on screen,
Pan.
this show would have got a 6 out of 5 from me, and I dare everybody
6
to
out of
fight
5.
me on this.
I'll quote Billy Bob from Varsity Blues. 10! Effing 10!
That would have been Tommy right there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No, so 3.5.
3.5. I really was. There was a lot of matches I was bored, and to the point where a match started, and I looked at JC and I go, because we try to put our kids to bed early, but the days of wrestling shows we let them stay until the whole thing's over.
Usually.
So I literally got so bored with it. I was like, okay, next match, whatever it is, if I don't want to see it, I'm gonna go give the kids a bath.
Yeah.
So I literally was like, I don't want to see this. Oh, this looks stupid already. And I went to give my kids a bath because I didn't want to see it. And I'm like, that just tells you right there that I was not interested in it, first of all.
Yeah.
And then the match itself wasn't that great. Well, yeah. So no. Sorry, not sorry.
Overall, 3.4375. I have to check to see if this was one of the worst pay-per-views of the year for us.
I want to say yes.
So far, yeah.
I actually wound up giving it the highest grade.
You sure
You
did.
know what that means we got over here? Couple haters.
Or you're just
Coming from the main hater.
or you're just being very lenient because school's not in session anymore. So you
Yeah,
don't
you're
have
not-
that. You don't have that
I don't
hard
really
ass
care
grading.
about-
You're pretty.
You have that social distancing
I am
grading.
pretty. You're right.
Yeah.
You're pretty bored. I said pretty bored.
He said, I'm pretty. I am pretty.
I mean, I didn't want to be called the most handsomest man ever since we're hyping everything up.
And hey, I would like to be called the blackest guy ever. I mean, just saying, we're doing this. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm down.
I mean, okay.
What are you calling yourself then?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The teacher's
The hottest
teacher.
wife ever.
The
Yes.
teacher's teacher. No,
Teacher's
I don't.
teacher.
I don't even want to say
You're
that.
the hottest wife ever. That's what you are. Yeah.
I don't know about that either. But
she is.
thanks a lot. I mean, to you, I guess
If-
I am.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw this out. If she has any Asian in her, there's some people I know that might, Carl Anderson, Tommy, might want to say some things about.
Hot Asian wife, basically.
I,
Yes. Okay.
I was trying to let it go, and you keep talking. To
I
me.
think there
Leave
was
me
some.
alone.
23andMe indicated there was a few. So
I'm 10%. Yeah.
10%. Boom. Hottest 10% Asian wife ever. Yes. Thank you, 23andMe. All right. Some wrestling news to cover. Now,
I guess
Wow.
it's mostly
What a
Vietnamese and
segue.
Korean, but yeah,
Yes. All right. Still counts.
Supposedly. supposedly.
Edge.
52% Native American though.
Nice.
The match itself was taped, so they could do all the, crowd noise and all the other crap. Edge did suffer a torn triceps during the match, and WWE obviously confirmed it afterward. He had successful surgery on it. Could be out a little while, which is, I guess, a good thing. Give him some rest with all that's going on for them to possibly do a third match. who knows? Survivor Series, WrestleMania, who knows? You know.
There was a funny thing, real quick though, on Raw. Orton says, "Yeah, you know, he tore his tricep off his bone, whatever."
Yeah.
He's like, "But I heard he'll be back in July of 2029."
Oh, God.
Wow.
Good stuff.
That's another hater. Okay.
That's good. That's good. I like
It's okay.
that. We did mention, of course,
I don't know what.
Performance Center athlete tested positive for COVID-19. They've kept that
man.
confidential. But for the first time,
Drama.
the interesting part is that for the very first time, WWE has done a full testing everybody for COVID.
Oh, then I saw
Now.
I saw an article countering that they didn't test everyone after all.
Well, the point is, and all this going on, they finally stepped up and said, okay, everyone's got to get tested. And they hadn't done that yet.
But they didn't, is what I'm saying.
But they're actually testing people is the point I'm trying to make.
True.
Rather than
But
doing
the
stupid
thought
temperature
came
check.
into their head at some point.
Okay, yeah, maybe we should
Vince
actually test people.
Vince finally said, "Hey, you know that deadly virus thing going around?
I guess
Yeah.
Let's see if some people have that."
He's like, oh, well, I guess I'll spend money to test them.
Give me a goddamn break.
So it doesn't just disappear. God dang it!
And then, of
Yeah,
course,
exactly.
select fans invited to Raw taping, but they're not allowed to wear masks.
Weird.
Which is the
Well, no.
don't
What
know.
my thought process is this. You're going to let the fans in, let them wear a mask, but give them a WWE mask.
You want to sell merch? Do that. Exactly.
have them wearing have them wear WWE
double.
masks. God. Have them wear WWE masks and sell merchandise.
Yeah.
Come
Makes
on.
the
Yeah,
most
but that's too much like making sense, though, Tina. You're trying to make sense.
Again,
Not-
I don't.
You're too creative.
Come on, Vince, hire me. I can totally, the U.S. Championship.
But
I can totally work with you on that.
But Tina, if you
Get it,
go
get
in
it,
there
get
and
it?
you give
I
Vince-
see what you did
if-
there. Let her be the creative for the U.S. title.
That's right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
If Kevin Owens challenges, I want to know what Hispanic name he's going to get. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Kevin.
Oh, damn. 3 names like jumped into my head. I don't
Ben.
see them. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Owens. No.
Oh,
Kevin
Owens.
Ortiz.
Ortiz.
that was one of the names I thought of.
No. Sorry, go ahead, Tommy.
I was going to say, Tina, if you go in there and get hired and you have a good idea, one of two things will happen.
You'll get fired?
Vince will say it's his idea, or 2, you'll get fired and have to go to AEW anyway.
Or
That's
Stephanie McMahon.
Either
could say
way-
she created women. And
Either
it was
way,
her
I'm going to
idea.
make good money, Tommy.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll probably make
Actually-
good money in 1 year as opposed to 30 years for what I'm doing now.
No, probably not. They probably wouldn't pay you that much.
Yeah, if I can last 6 months in WWE, I think I'll make good money. Just saying.
I don't think the staff gets paid as well as some of the wrestlers do. It's a whole different ballgame.
Zack
I'm
Ryder
pretty
lost
It's
10.
like an
I'm
NBA
pretty sure.
franchise.
I'm pretty
Sure,
sure I get paid more than what I do now.
It's
but-
like an NBA franchise. Sure, the athletes
But
are
that's
paid
not
well.
saying much.
Everyone else gets paid shit. So I mean,
True.
That's
Yeah.
that's one of those things. Even then, the athletes
and
are
it's probably
paid very well.
probably stressful too because if he doesn't like your thing, he's gonna be like, no.
No,
like
I
it.
guess the next bit of wrestling news. And Tommy, were you going to talk about the New Japan Cup on your 1 minute warning?
Actually, no. I've covered it on my channel.
On my
We'll
channel.
link
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was going to say.
We'll link it
if
down
you
below.
want, if you want to give like a quick summary rundown of what you said, I'll link the video here. But what did you want to say about the New Japan Cup?
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Are we doing 1 minute warnings now?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Ready?
Yep.
Set. Wait, let me get the stopwatch. God dang it.
He's not
Yeah.
prepared.
Right before the blooper reel, this shit happens, right? So more stuff comes up. Here we go. Ready, set,
Yes.
go.
Okay, so like I said, I covered it on my channel. So if you guys want to go pop over there and watch those videos, they're great. No, I'm just excited. New Japan's back. A lot of LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón, are in the tournament.
Huh.
So they're actually not really showing a lot of cohesiveness with Naito right now because all of them have made it clear they want a shot at his titles. The first, I'm only, and for my video, I'm only doing the first round matches. I'm going by each round.
Okay.
But for the first day, I was right with everyone who I picked to win. But so that's going to go on until the 23rd of the first round, and then round 2 will go on, blah, blah, blah. But it's great.
Whoa!
It's-
Stop being aggressive with that pen.
It's just, bro. It's really great to see.
Seriously, move the phone left.
My bad.
To see, there we go. To see, to have New Japan back. They're picking up where they left off, and it's just really, really. That wasn't fair. I was going to use my last piece.
Go ahead. Finish up.
I get bored easily. I'm telling you.
Just watch the videos on my channel.
There was a timing discrepancy.
I have never told anyone to come to this channel ever again.
Tommy is finishing his 1 minute warning under protest. He's going to lodge a formal complaint.
Go for it, Tommy. I'm sorry. I just had to. Because Mike was like a little to the left, and I was like.
Go ahead. Just finish it.
Never do this show. I'm going to be on my show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, finish it up by saying who do you pick? Who do you think is going to win the whole thing?
I'm torn between either like Sonata, who's like going for like his 8th shot with the belt, Goto, or Hiromu Takahashi, because he's been chomping at the bit to get a one-on-one match with Naito. And if anyone has been able to make me laugh at COVID, it's Takahashi, because he has been the biggest COVID-19 person on any social media, because it cost him his match with Naito that he couldn't have it. So he's like, if anything about this made me laugh, it's definitely Takahashi, because he's hilarious.
Okay, so you gave me 3 names. I need you to pick one. Otherwise, I'm going to make you do a Mary Bang kill for all 3 of those guys. So
I hate you. Damn, 1 week by week on my channel. And you're all, forget you.
Wasn't it like Wrestle, Feud, or I don't know.
Cut, Fire, something. I don't know. Yeah.
Something like that. Wrestle.
Feud, they're being unpredictable this year. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'll say Hiromu Takahashi.
Okay.
For the whole thing.
Cool.
Oh, got it. Tag partner. Feud.
I'm picking Carl Anderson.
I don't think he's.
If he was there now, but no.
He's a wild card. He's taking a spot.
No,
he's pulling a Shane McMahon.
That's happened before. In previous years, they've taken somebody out and someone else substituted. That's happened before.
I swear to God, Mike, if you're right, I want to know who your source is.
Kenta.
No.
Kenta would be great too.
Yeah.
But see, Carl Anderson, believe it or not, because they mentioned this in past years, he's come close to winning the belt. He's come close.
He's done good G1s. I've seen some of his old stuff.
Yes, so old G1s, he's come close to beating Tanahashi and Okada several times. So if he came back and won, first of all, that'd be the biggest middle finger to Vince ever.
Yeah.
2, but see, here's the thing though. If that happened, he'd probably have to fire AJ and Finn Balor immediately, because they would sing Carl's praises all day long on social media. They would. Because Carl Anderson was well loved by everybody. Everyone said how much they liked him. So if he goes back and wins the belt, whoever drops it to him wouldn't mind at all. So Naito would be like, yeah, that's cool. I like Carl.
Because he's a good brother.
Yeah, he's a good brother.
He's a grizzly young vet. All right, Mike, what
was that?
So they do a podcast, and that's like a song him and Luke Gallows came up with. Like, what? So, and then there's a tag team in NXT UK that uses the name Grizzly Young Vets, and that's kind of
Grizzled Young Veterans.
Veterans, whatever. Same thing. All right, Mike, you got one more warning today?
I do.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Ready, set, and go.
All right, guys. Here's what we're going to do. The mad scientists take 2 of the things that I've talked a lot about on 1 minute warnings and combine them into one storyline.
IIconics and Cesaro.
Exactly.
Nice.
So if those of you that are familiar with the IIconics in NXT that would give Kenta a hard time and Johnny Gargano, this is what they're going to start doing to Cesaro. They're going to start following around and messing with him. And at first, he's not going to want anything to do with him. But then, when they need help, he's going to show up to rescue them, and he's going to become their muscle. So we got Cesaro and the IIconics going around doing funny stuff. You're finally going to get to see Cesaro's personality as he joins on with the IIconics. And this is going to be the greatest storyline ever.
Oh my God.
And time.
Oh,
Tommy, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm only mad because I didn't see that joke coming the second he started talking. I'm only mad I didn't see that joke coming a mile away. I'm legitimately upset with myself.
Okay. Babe, you got something?
I guess.
Yes.
Nothing really big, but.
Okay. It's up to you if you do. Ready? Set.
So Mike loves when I talk about Total Bellas. So.
Turn the camera off. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, you are currently on hold. Dun, 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 dun,
Can we mute him? Can we mute him? Okay, cool.
Go ahead. I'll restart. Go ahead.
Yes. Look at him. He's muted. Fake muted, but it's whatever. No. I can't even talk. Forget it. No, Total Bills is over. I wanted to tell you. The season's over.
Okay.
Yay.
This whole episode should just be part of the blooper reel, JC. Like,
It's,
for real.
it's gonna be. There's a lot of it's gonna be on there
Oh my
next week.
gosh.
But go ahead.
So Total Bills is over.
Okay.
Mike is so happy. Found out that Nikki Bella is having a boy. And Brie is going and Brian are going to have a surprise when they give birth. They don't want to know what it is. So they're going
I
to
could never do.
They're going to huh?
Nothing.
They're going to find out what it is when they give birth.
Yeah.
Or when Brie gives birth specifically.
When they give birth.
We're not gonna do it together, but yeah, that's true. That'd be weird.
And
All right.
the other thing I want to talk about, since I'm talking about reality shows, is Ms. and Mrs. is now recording again for their new season. So Marisa and the Miz have actually putting up stuff about how they've been recording for their new season. So I'm excited about that.
Interesting. Are they going to have a camera crew, or is this a lot of them self-recording stuff for the reality show? Do you know?
They have a camera crew.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I'm assuming they have to be far enough to record them, but they also have to be wearing masks. But they're in their own home, so
Yeah.
the camera crew comes to their house. So from what I understand, they go to their house, camera crew, just like normal. The only difference is I'm assuming they probably have limited amount of people that go to their house.
Probably a lot of hidden camera work, which I think
That
a lot
too.
of reality shows that are filming right now. I know the Challenge is getting ready to start filming in August. They don't even know if they're going to be able to travel outside the country. They may actually be doing the challenge
In the United
in
States.
the United States somewhere with a lot of hidden camera stuff. So we'll see.
That's the only thing I have. The other thing I was going to say is, like I said earlier, is why don't you have some people from other... We can black him out, right?
No,
That's
it's
easy.
okay. Just go.
It's easy. Anyways,
Come on, you did the same thing. You didn't expect that from Mike.
anyway,
Oh my god. Greatest podcast episode ever.
is putting
Ever.
WWE superstars and or NXT talent in the crowd and make them a part of the show. That's what I wanted to see.
Okay.
So look, Mike, give a thumbs up.
Yes.
Who cares?
Very cool.
Anyway,
God damn.
I don't know what to do, man.
To quote Star-Lord,
I already gave
I
you
didn't know how this works.
Oh, you know?
Okay. Alrighty.
There's a
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that.
I don't know how me and Mike are gonna get along when we are actually in person again.
Y'all are gonna give each other a big
we're
hug,
never
and it's
doing
all
it
gonna be
in
great.
person.
So it's gonna be great.
Mike's like, I'm never coming over. Only to feed the cats, and that's only because you know.
we bought you a mask in Laredo.
And like he always says, this doesn't matter because they're alive, but
Yeah.
like, don't kill our cats.
Hey,
Oh
But
Lord.
did they
hey,
die?
we're allowed to get back together. Mike's still only going to do Skype from now on.
It's just perfectly
But
fine with me.
I'm going to Skype from the truck outside in the truck.
That'd be a good gag,
And
actually.
be like, JC, there's a stalker.
JC's going to be like, outside, we got Mike. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
No, outside you got Mike. Beep, beep.
Yeah. This has been episode. All right, for Mike. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's
Yeah.
finish this off because oh my god.
I can't follow that, so I don't have a 1 minute warning. I don't even know if I was going to talk
Well,
about
JC,
anything.
the pizza's here.
Yeah, oh, jeez.
Ooh, what kind? What kind?
If it's from Mod Pizza, cool. All right, our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to our channel, The Countdown City Geeks. And Mike was recently on a video on the Geekcast. Him and Steady talking about Game of Thrones finale 1 year later. I know, as Steady said, he had you on lease. That was kind of
That
funny
was
to
funny.
get that introduction. So, Mike, how was it to be a part of the Geekcast episode? Just like a normal one. Was it fun? Obviously I haven't watched it
Yeah,
yet. but-
no.
Yeah.
It was good because contrary to popular belief, wrestling's not the only thing I'm into. I was really
Same.
into Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
It was an awesome series for about 5 or 6 seasons. And
Really
then it started tail spinning.
Yeah.
And then the last season was horrible, and the last episode itself just had so much. But watch the episode. Much like this show, we go off on tangents.
Yes, we
do.
do.
Have anything to do with Game of Thrones.
Going off on a tangent, what are you guys into right now? What are you watching besides wrestling that you're into right now?
Yeah. What have you guys been watching on streaming shows?
I've been binge watching Criminal Minds.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I'm almost done with the series. That's
I've been rewatching old YouTube series like All Deaf and their Great Taste series that just wrapped up. Also, though, I've been trying to catch up on Demon Slayer, the anime. I got distracted and I'm like halfway through it. It's really solid. It's a great series.
Okay.
It's beautifully animated. Like, it's so gorgeous to watch. It's a great show. Oh, and JC, I finally beat Darksiders 3.
Wow.
The funny part is I haven't even beaten it yet. I still need to, but I got to beat it because I know as different as Darksiders Genesis is, I still want to play it. And
Same here.
It's on $20 right now.
So what are you into right now, JC?
What am I into right now? Well, for one, I finally started watching the whole The Last Dance ESPN special about the Chicago Bulls.
It's really good so far.
It's been really good. I made like 5 episodes today. It was really good. Tia and I just finished watching The Great.
Which is great.
On Hulu.
It's really funny.
If you're not familiar with that, it's about Catherine the Great. A hilarious take on it. Do not let your kids watch it.
It's a satirical
take on Catherine the Great, but
it's
my
hilarious.
God. Don't let your kids watch, people.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And aside from that, we started watching Nailed It on Netflix.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Which is hilarious. Basically, I think a normal person trying to bake an elaborate cake and nailed it. No, they don't, but it's funny.
And we just started watching, weirdly to say, but Dear White People.
On Netflix.
It's a really good show about college.
It's basically about, I guess you could say, racial injustice, racial indifferences in like an Ivy League style college. You're nodding like you watched it already.
Have you seen it?
I've watched some of it, but like I already know what it's about because it's like it's pretty much it's what every black person has wanted to say literally since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So,
we enjoy it because of the way it's shot is different.
Yeah.
They go from different point of views and different parts of the story. So like one time they'll show the story from this girl's point of view, and then the next point of view will be the same story but from a different person's point of view. Mm-hmm. And it's to us it's just been like, wow. You know?
Yeah, and of course we're watching the challenge. We're going to be getting ready for the next season of Marriage Boot Camp, Reality Stars, Hip Hop Edition.
Woot woot.
For our Island of Reality podcast with Ryan and Angela from Album City Movie Talk. Check it out.
Yep.
So,
one other thing I want to throw in there real quick just for me.
The straight glasses tomorrow.
Yes.
I mentioned to you, because I know I sent this to you and Steady. Mm-hmm. There's a pop culture podcast out of Australia called The Weekly Planet. Mm-hmm. Which is 2 friends. They do audio and they do videos. Hilarious, just guys, 2 friends making jokes the whole time. They have this series they call Caravan of Garbage. And I know it sounds bad, but it's just a title they pick. They take different properties and just kind of go over them. So I sent you the one about Man of Steel, but they did the full Snyder trilogy talking about Man of Steel, Batman vs.
Batman vs. Superman and Justice League.
And Justice League. But I mean, they don't trash the whole time. If there's things they don't like about it, they'll talk about it. But they talk about a lot of the problems they had with Warner Brothers. They kind of go through a lot of the stories that were coming out because their podcast actually started in preparation for Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. That's why they got started, because they were so hyped for it. So I know I sent it to you. I know it's called Caravan of Garbage, but it's not just them trashing it. They do some good insight, but they're hilarious. Their regular podcast comes out every Monday. It's called The Weekly Planet, not the Daily Planet.
I like that.
I feel like Mike is our podcast specialist.
I do.
Yeah, I know Mike's gotten to listen to a lot of podcasts now, especially with everything going on. Me, on the other hand, with kids in the house, it's hard for me to listen. Yeah. I'm barely caught up on season 2 of Harley Quinn because I can't watch that with kids in the room because it's so vulgar. But it's great. No, but it's so good.
You most certainly cannot.
But Stargirl has been really good on DC Universe. And we're gearing up for season 2 of Doom Patrol, which I definitely cannot watch with kids because that one is crazy. It's out there. So,
also, if you were into Scrubs at any point, Zach Braff and Donald Faison have a podcast called Fake Doctors, Good Friends, or something like
What?
that.
That's
That was
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah,
That's
they're
hilarious.
literally
The
just
name
going
alone.
back-
Yeah.
They're just going back through the episode, starting from season 1. They have a lot of special guests. They have the series creator. They have Sarah Chalky. They have the doctor who played the nurse. They have the Turk's wife from the show.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was a character in there called Ted who recently passed away from cancer. And so they did a couple a special episode talking about him. And so if you ever like Scrubs or you like those two guys in general, again, two friends just talking, having fun.
You know who else has something similar to that is from Power Rangers, Nakia Burris and Captain Sutherland. They have a show. They talk about their old Power Rangers episodes and
Nice.
Wow.
it's fun. It's funny because I saw a clip and they're laughing at their hairstyles then and
I bet.
just backstage stories they had. And because I saw that clip, I saw this other one where Austin St. John talks about like his coming back to do Gold Ranger and how he got picked for the original Power Rangers, and he was talking about Twee Trang and everything, how he and everything like that. So there's like some really cool stuff out there.
That would sound like fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from all that, I'm also playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Got to finish Darksiders 3.
Yes.
And then be back on the Samurai Showdown grind. I kind of took a break from it for a few weeks just to kind of get my mind right.
He also forgot Animal Crossing. Come on.
Oh, well, Animal Crossing, of course. That's like a chore. Well, not really a chore. It's enjoyable, but
Little side note there.
yes, of course. But
and our daughter is playing Animal Crossing now. Too.
but for me, just
She's
personally, I had to take kind of a break from Samurai Showdown just because with Evo getting canceled, I guess I started to feel
Sad.
I don't want to say depressed, maybe
Sad.
a little bit because
Quarantine sad.
maybe it was just like it was different. It was a horrible mental thing for me. Just
He
because
spent a lot of time preparing for it, and then when they canceled it, he kind of was just like,
you know, I was finally getting to go.
Understandable.
We
yeah.
had booked
Yeah,
it,
I get
and
that.
I was
It's
just
not-
I was ready to go. We had the trip planned, and then this shit happens. It's through no fault of Evo's own, and it's not like we part of Evo Online, which kind of sucks. And it's like it was just depressing, and I think I wasn't playing as well, so I was like, you know what, the game. With video games, when it stops being fun, you need to give yourself a break from it and remember why you played these games in the first place. And so I've been taking a break from it. For everybody in the Samurai Shodown community that has reached out to me, I'm okay. I'm fine. It's just been I needed a break to get my mind right. I've been watching everything on Twitch. I'm still doing Photoshop stuff for you, Ghost. Rudy Sinister X is planning a huge round robin type tournament. Been working on the promos for him too. I'm still doing Photoshop stuff, but I'm okay. I'll be back on the grind soon. I just need to get my mind right. And then we were planning the 50th wedding anniversary party for my in-laws. Tina's parents just celebrated 50 years together this past weekend. So it was a hell of a party.
yes,
It was a lot of fun. So
It was outside in our backyard.
yes,
We
very
surprised the
with-
crap out of him with
surprised
some
with mariachis, which
with
is
some
fun.
mariachis, which was fun.
That's cool.
My
That's
mom,
awesome.
my mom cried a little bit,
But for
She
those
loved
that
it.
play Samurai Shodown, a lot of people are like complaining about this or that or netcode. You know what? It's okay to get a break every now and then just to get your mind right. And remember, you play these games to have fun, and that's really what it's all about. So I'll be back out there. And that being said, what's today's date? You got
June
two
16th.
more. It's June 16th. You got until Thursday to get the Samurai Shodown Neo Geo Collection for free on PC on the Epic Game Store. It just came out. It's a great collection. Even if you don't play the series, go check it out because you can't beat free, and it's free forever if you get it now. So, that's it for our show this week. We know we kept on going off a tangent there. Next week,
why not?
Greatest tangents ever.
Because we're human too, and even though this is, we're at home all the time, and we do,
yeah.
we're humans. We want to do stuff that we want to do to entertain us and not feel so
yeah.
worried about the world around us. And so doing things like this is fine.
And to see what other craziness we do as well. Next week, we're getting a little break, but you're going to see part
Oh, God.
of the blooper reel for the first half of this
See all
year.
my weird faces.
It'll include a lot of stuff we did before we had to go into quarantine stuff, and then our social distancing stuff. And believe me, there's a lot of fun stuff on there. It's going to be a blast.
Surprisingly, there's probably just as much during the social distancing.
Probably
stuff.
just on this episode alone too.
Oh, jeez.
Then in 2 weeks we are going to be previewing AEW Fyter Fest, which is going to be a 2-week event. It'll be interesting how they do this, but they have some high-profile matches. Moxley versus Brian Cage, of course, is the big championship match as well. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. Thank you guys, everyone. I know it's only been a half a year, but it feels like it's been a full year. And with all this going on, I want to say thank you to Tina, to Mike, to Tommy for coming most weeks, every week, and being a part of this, spending some time here with everything that's going on, especially all of us trying to keep our jobs remote and everything else going on, having to adjust to so much. Thank you, everybody, for committing to this and keeping this going. It is a nice distraction. It is a great stress relief, and I'm very thankful to every one of you for being a part of this. So,
yeah,
thank you guys very much.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not always on because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to say.
You're busy.
Especially when it's like AEW or New Japan stuff. I'm like, I don't know what to say. All I say is whatever Tommy said. I don't want to do that the whole show.
That's
so
a bold strategy, Cotton. See if
and
that works
sometimes
out for
I'm
you.
legitimately exhausted from the day. So, you know.
Hey, it was a rough year. And
Fair
I don't
enough.
blame you. So,
Yeah.
thank you again for the WrestleCast. Over here we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks. Be good to each other, guys.
My beautiful wife Tina.
Adios.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake.
That was the closest we ever got.
These are the quarantine era.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.